If I was an e-commerce brand and I wanted to start taking email marketing seriously in the year 2026, this is exactly what I do step by step to add tens of thousands of dollars in email attributed revenue. And just for some context, my name is Diego and I've been running my email marketing agency for 2 years now. I've managed to help e-commerce brands scale using email marketing, including this brand that went from $3,000 a month to $11,000 per month in email attributed revenue in just 2 short months. So now that you know that I'm competent to talk about this in the first place, let's get straight into it.
So step number one is setting up your email infrastructure. The first step to take your e-commerce email marketing seriously is building a strong foundation in a software. That starts with setting up Klaviyo, the industry standard platform for DTC e-commerce brands. So Klaviyo integrates seamlessly with all of your major platforms, supports advanced segmentation, and has every automation you'll ever need. Now, my personal preference for Klaviyo is that it has such clean syncing with your Shopify store that it makes your flows work seamlessly. Using Klaviyo is how brands generate 30 to 50% of their total online revenue just through email. So here's the step-by-step setup sequence that we use with our clients. Number one is starting with signing up and connecting to Klaviyo. So it's very straightforward. Sign up for Klaviyo and connect your Shopify or your other store. Step two is syncing your data. So ensure all product and customer data sync properly so that every customer interaction is tracked in real time. Now, I cannot stress this enough. Syncing your data is the most important thing when implementing an ESP or email service provider. Next step, step number three, is setting up your own branded domain. So branded domain is your store's domain as the sender and not Klaviyo.1345667. So setting up a branded sending domain helps you comply with Google and Yahoo bulk sender rules so that you don't end up in spam. Step number four is creating a master list. This master list is where every single subscriber will funnel into. So have it be from pop-ups, from forums, from checkout, from Instagram, every single place you can collect email addresses. Well, this is where we're going to be sending them. Step number five, and like I said, I cannot stress this enough. Verify your automation sync. Double check that data syncs automatically across flows so that future campaigns and automations pull accurate purchase history. So this foundation, these 5 steps ensure that every single automation, segment, and campaign function properly later on. Without this, even great creatives or great strategy won't deliver results simply because the tech setup breaks the chain of tracking and deliverability. Step number 2, building a high converting pop-up form. How you can get subscribers information. So up to 90% of your email list will come from your pop-up form. That's 9 out of 10 people. So that single box on your website determines whether you capture or lose almost every single visitor who lands from your ads, organic boosts, or influencer campaigns. Basically, this dictates your ad spend. How much subscribers, how much prospects can you get from a single ad budget? This is dictated entirely by your pop-up form. I mean, think about it. You're already paying for traffic through Meta, Google, or TikTok, Instagram, your social media manager, whatever. But every single visitor that leaves without subscribing is essentially money you just burned, you didn't use. Your pop-up is how you convert expensive traffic into an own audience that you can endlessly remarket again and again and again without depending on any social algorithms or anything. And here's exactly how to set it up. Number 1, craft a compelling offer. Choose an incentive that fits your margins but still excites your audience in some way. For most brands, 10% off or free shipping works well, but that's not always the best fit and I don't recommend it. Why? Well, because I think the more creative your offer is, the better. Number 2, designing for simplicity and speed. We all know that people are impatient. People's dopamine receptors are fried, so a pop-up has 3 seconds to grab attention. That's literally nothing. Keep the copy short, make the headline benefit driven, like get your first order discount instantly, and ensure that the button stands out with a single and clear CTA. Obviously, use your brand's fonts and colors, but don't overload with graphics. Don't try to make it look cute. Step 3, sequence smartly. 2-step collection. What this means is that page 1 collects the email and page 2 collects the SMS. It's very simple. Now, I know what you're thinking, but even if you don't have a strategy or a person that will handle that for you yet, you need to be collecting SMS numbers because they are very, very valuable. They convert even better than email, although it's a little bit more expensive. Step number 4, your trigger timing and the placement. So you can set the pop-up to appear on entry 6 to 10 seconds after arrival or on exit intent. This is literally when your pop-up pops up, and we have these types of timing because every single timing has a purpose. Entry pop-ups create impulse interest. Time delay pop-ups filter casual scrollers who are just looking around. And exit intent pop-ups catch fence sitters before they bounce or they leave. I would recommend a time delay pop-up with 6 to 10 seconds. Obviously, you're going to start testing it and get to the optimized time delay. But start with 6 to 10 seconds. And then you can also add in an exit pop-up, which gives you like a second chance to convert the subscriber. Now, talking about testing, step number 5, testing and iteration. Your pop-up is not a set and forget element. I think that not a single thing in email marketing is set and forget, so keep that in mind. So you need to test different offers like percentage discount versus free shipping or a dollar amount discount. You also need to test your copy angles, something that may be community driven or something that is playing on scarcity or urgency. And you also need to test creative layouts like static versus dynamic pop-ups. Most winning pop-ups actually go through 3 to 5 rounds of optimization before hitting their peak conversion rate. So obviously don't think that you're gonna get it right the first time. Step 6 is leveraging behavior-based triggers. Now, tools like Klaviyo allow for conditional logic. For example, showing people different pop-ups depending on if they are a first-time visitor or a returning customer. Finally, step number 7, which is I think the low-hanging fruit for your pop-up, is connecting it to the flow. So what you want is that once your pop-up converts, those subscribers automatically trigger your welcome series and they go instantly into this welcome series and they receive an email. That's exactly what happens with top brands when you subscribe to their pop-up and then immediately you receive a welcome email. The welcome flow's sole job is to convert that opt-in into revenue quickly. So ensure that the offer in your pop-up perfectly matches that email follow-up. If it's not the same offer, you're automatically going to lose that prospect. And trust me when I say this, I've seen this with countless brands. Inconsistency kills trust. If you promise 50% off in the pop-up, the first welcome email should deliver exactly that within seconds. If your welcome flow takes too much to arrive, if it's not instantly, you're going to lose another prospect. And when you combine these elements, which is industry best practices, your pop-up stops being a small feature and becomes a core revenue engine without you even realizing it. I want to leave you with a pro tip in this section. So study other brands in your niche, preferably bigger, and recreate step by step their exact pop-up because they already have the optimized pop-up. They already have more data than you. So if you copy that, you're essentially skipping a whole lot of steps. By the way, if you want all of this handled for your e-commerce brand so you don't spend any time working on it, check the first link in the description to book a call and I'll be happy to chat. Now let's get back into the video. So here are some pop-up examples. This is from Fin, which is a brand I really like their email marketing and their pop-up. So you see here, this is what we call a micro commitment, which is a quiz or something that you got to do in order to get your discount. As you can see in the next step, after you answer this, all you need to do is put your email and click continue, and then you already have your discount. It gamifies the process and makes it that more interesting for people to subscribe to your list. And something I forgot to mention, this from Fin is essentially a full screen pop-up. Even though you can see behind it, it is a full screen pop-up. And now in this next example, which is a partial screen pop-up, it doesn't take up the entire screen, so it feels a little bit less invasive, but obviously you need testing to determine this. And to leave you with another pro tip, make the first step a micro commitment like a quiz like we saw with Fin. This way people feel inclined to finish the form because they've already earned their reward, which is the discount. Step number 3, which is one of the most important steps, is building the 7 core email flows. Now this is also the one that's going to be the most work heavy, but you're gonna reap the most rewards from this in the long run. So flows are where the real money is made. They automate 24/7 communication with your customers, welcoming, reminding, converting, and re-engaging. And this is also in the order that I would develop, and we actually develop our pop-ups because it's in the order of most to least revenue generated. So starting with the welcome series is where you introduce your brand, share your story, show your best sellers, and include your promised offer. The goal is to build trust and convert first-time buyers. Most of the conversions are gonna come from the first email, but you still need to have a couple of emails to hit them in different touch points of their journey. Numbers 2 and 3, which are essentially the same, but the abandoned cart flow, which targets users who added items to their cart but didn't check out, so didn't start checkout. You send 3 to 4 reminders showing brand benefits, testimonials, and urgency. Important, the trigger needs to be added to cart and not started checkout in Klaviyo. The added to cart flow in Klaviyo, the default flow, is actually a started checkout flow. Now moving on to the abandoned checkout flow, which is essentially the same as the abandoned cart flow with a very few wording changes. If you're starting out, I would recommend to copy the abandoned cart flow and essentially use the same in the abandoned checkout flow with these wording changes that I told you about. The only difference between these two flows is literally the triggers and the slight wording changes. You can even use the same discounts. Now, moving on to the browse abandonment flow. I want you to visualize the abandonment flows like buckets that get progressively smaller, but as they get smaller, the conversion rate rises. So you want to get people from your site abandoned into your browse abandoned, from your browse abandoned into your cart abandoned, from your cart abandoned into your checkout abandoned. Because in your checkout abandoned is essentially where you convert most of the people. Maybe it's in your cart, maybe it's in your checkout, but you want to get them into the next step of the abandonment journey. With that being said, browse abandonment your main objective shouldn't be necessarily to convert the customer, but to get them in the next step of the abandonment bucket. So you want to, in the browse abandoned, you want to re-engage visitors who viewed products but didn't add to cart. Use dynamic product blocks showing recently viewed items, the items that they viewed, the exact item that they viewed, and pair it with reviews to build trust on the brand. Remind them why the product was relevant. Still thinking about this is a proven opener that drives clicks later on in the email. Now, moving on to the post-purchase flow. This is it only for customers who bought from you. So what you want to do is you want to thank them, you want to educate them on how to use their products, and you want to invite reviews, which is a positive feedback loop. Teach them how to get the most value to boost retention and repeat orders. This is also a way that you can remove buyer's remorse from the purchase they just made. You can also include product care tips, upsells, and FAQs to reduce refunds and increase confidence post-purchase. Then moving on to your customer win-back flow. So you reactivate past customers who haven't bought from you in a while. You send special offers to this segment or reminders of previously purchased items so that they purchase them again. Dynamic recommendations here, like customers who bought X also loved Y, can lift returning customer rates very, very fast. And finally, your sunset flow, which is a re-engagement sequence for inactive subscribers. So the difference between winback and sunset is that sunset is people who haven't necessarily purchased. Winback is only for customers, past customers. In this sunset flow, if they remain inactive after you send them this flow, suppress them to protect your deliverability and also lower your Klaviyo costs. These 7 flows that I just mentioned are literally the backbone of any profitable email system, and they all work together. The big brands that you can imagine, like Dr. Sasquatch and Armra, they all use essentially these 7 core flows to drive their automated revenue. Also, you can watch my full course video, which is over an hour long after finishing this one, in which I break down exactly how to set up the 3 main ones in detail so you can get things going with your email marketing system. Now, step number 4 is segmenting your master list, which is the list that we previously mentioned. So contrary to what most people think, you don't just blast your entire email list and hope for the best. Proper segmentation dramatically improves engagement, conversions, deliverability, and essentially the data hygiene. You can analyze data that's basically diluted by a lot of people that don't open your emails. So your list should have these distinct groups, which is past purchasers, prospects, VIP customers, inactive subscribers, and new leads from pop-ups and social campaigns. Essentially, segmentation just ensures the right message goes to the right people at the right time. These groups that we just mentioned. A great example is how VIP customers should get early access drops and not just generic sales. If they feel like they're being treated better, they're going to remain with the brand more time. As for segmenting, don't overcomplicate yourself. Start with these 5 key segments: your 30-day engaged subscribers, your 60-day engaged subscribers, your 100-day engaged subscribers, your 365-day engaged prospects, which is people who have shown engagement within the past year but haven't converted, and your 365-day engaged customers, which is past customers who have engaged within the past year with your brand's email marketing. Now, during your regular content calendar, your campaigns are going to be sent out mostly to your 30, 60, or 100-day engaged subscribers. These 365-day segments are for more specific reasons or specific campaigns. So how do you know to which segment specifically to send to between the 30, 60, and 100-day engaged segments? Essentially, if it has an over 60% open rate and over 1 to 2% of click rate, you can send to the next bigger segment. If you already have that with your 30, move on to your 60. If you already have that with your 60, move on to your 100. If you have very high open rate and click rate with your 100-day engaged segment, you can try out a 120-day engaged segment. Usually brands see fall off after the 100-day engage segment. Now, number 5, which is creating your campaign calendar. Really what most of you have been waiting for. Now, while you may think 3 to 4 emails a week is a lot, it really isn't when you compare it with how much emails people are receiving on a daily and weekly basis. If you don't send out 3 to 4 weekly emails, people are going to forget who you are. Another key part is your consistency. You need to be sending out 3 to 4 emails a week every single week for every single month. If you miss out on 1 to 2 weeks, people are going to forget you that fast. If you can't maintain 3 to 4 emails a week with design or with copy or whatever, start by sending out 2 emails a week. Maintain consistency, and when you can finally ramp up production, move to 3 emails a week. Here's how to fill up your calendar fast, because I know 3 to 4 campaigns are a lot for a lot of people. So number 1 is repurposing existing content that you already have. It can be from social media, it can be from blogs or announcements. You turn these into short educational or story-driven emails. People eat these up. Next is sharing brand updates and promotions. You can share behind-the-scenes updates, product launches, seasonal promotions, or relevant holidays tied to your niche. Do not have more than 1 sale a month, because that will essentially just train your list to buy only when there's a sale. Also, make sure to keep your campaigns clean. Keep campaigns with 1 story, 1 takeaway, 1 CTA, 1 goal. If not, people will just get confused. Also, use visuals strategically, not just because you want to add all these graphic elements that look cute or whatever. Use your visuals only when it's necessary, because clarity always wins in email marketing. And finally, track your performance. This is the most important part of sending campaigns. Track each sends open and click rates to find your baseline engagement. Also, you need to be A/B testing your campaigns rigorously. And now, finally, moving on to the monitoring and optimizing the performance. Literally what we were just talking about. So monitoring and optimization separates the successful brands from the ones that completely fail. If you don't listen to your data, people are going to get bored of you, because you're just going to be sending out every single email that's the same. So monitoring and optimization separates the successful brands from the ones that completely fail. If you're not monitoring and optimizing your emails, you're just going to be sending the same bland content and people are going to get bored of you. Even your best performing flows are going to need refinement over time, and data tells you exactly what your customers respond to over time. Now, you can do this monthly. I would recommend monthly for the flows and for the campaigns. At the end of each month, review your campaign and your flow performance in Klaviyo. Every single month, campaigns and flows. It's a necessity. And essentially just look for outliers in data, a subject line that got 2 times more opens, a theme that 3 times revenue or average order value, maybe a segment that underperformed against another similar segment. The goal is to identify patterns and double down on what works and remove what didn't work. It's a very simplistic practice. Sometimes the data and flows can be translated to campaigns and sometimes it can't. So you also need to be aware of this contextually. And essentially, here's how to do it right. Number 1 is tracking key metrics, your KPIs, your open rate, click rate, conversion rate, and unsubscribe rates across every single flow, every single email, and every single flow. Number 2, A/B test your welcome series. A/B test your first few welcome series emails, because those are the ones that get the most eyeballs, especially the first one. If you can nail your first email, essentially, you're nailing most of the revenue for that flow. Test send timing. Experiment with send delays, like 1 hour versus 4 hours in your abandonment flows to find the sweet spot. Also, you may do it in your campaigns. I would recommend starting first, if you've never sent a single email, with morning versus afternoon emails. And then you're going to move in the direction that gets the most open rate. Nailing the ideal time, if it's in the morning or the afternoon for your campaigns, is literally the most ROI element in your email marketing system. And finally, document your learnings. So record learnings in a simple monthly report so you're not repeating old mistakes even 2 to 3 years in the future. These records are also very important if you're going to partner with people in the future, whether it be employees working for you or agencies partnering with you.
If you want me and my team to handle all of this fully done for you so you don't spend a single minute working on it, check the first link in the description to book a free audit call where I'll audit your brand and see whether we can help you out or not. In this audit, I'll also provide you with actionable tips that you can walk away with for free, no commitment, so that even if we don't end up partnering together, you can still elevate your email marketing system. If you'd rather handle all of this yourself, just watch this full course video next where I explain every single thing you need to know and do to scale your e-commerce brand through email marketing. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more value. I'll see you in the next one.